All right, so let's go ahead and build out some of these data sources because these are so important to me. So I want to talk about them first because right now you're jumping into the boot camp. You're probably going at it with an approach of using technical analysis or any strategies that you have in the past. Now, I've been playing this game for 3.5 years now. Actually, probably maybe even closer to 4. But anyways, I found a lot of things that work, a lot of things that don't work. One thing I would like to say is try to go places other people don't go. Try to find data sources other people don't look at. Try to look at things, approach a market a little differently than other people. Now, it's on you to come up with your edge and what strategy you're going to run, but I thought this would be a helpful project here to build because I've been fascinated by this data stream that I have on screen, and I've been looking for patterns and I've seen a lot of things that are very interesting. Now, I'm not here to tell you any strategy that you should run or you shouldn't run. That's on you. But I can give you these data streams here and show you how to build them so maybe you can see patterns as well. But let me talk about the data streams first. These are all of the orders on Binance that are over $20,000 or $15,000. So all the Ethereum orders, all the BTC orders, all the BNB orders, a ton of all the big, pretty much all the big players. You're going to be able to see all of the orders coming through. So what can you do with this data? Well, you can probably build algorithms based off of this data. So we have all the big orders here coming through, and then if they're over like zero point 0.5, $500,000, I put them here. So in this video, in this project, we're going to build out this data source because this is so important and I literally watch it all day long. You can see I'm not looking at charts. So that tells you something, right? I'm trying to separate myself from everybody else. I understand who my opponent is, and they're looking at charts trying to decide if it's going up or down. I'm not saying if that's right or wrong. I'm just saying after being 3.5 years deep, I know that to get edge, you have to look at the markets a different way, in my opinion. Don't let that stop you from doing anything you have in your mind because you have different experiences. I don't know where you come from, where you are in trading, and maybe you already have a strategy that works really well. But at the end of the day, this can be a very helpful data source and maybe it will trigger an idea for you. So let's build out this data stream. Remember we made that folder a couple of videos back? It's called data streams. Well, I'm going to use that for my Visual Studio project. So you can see here, I can go ahead and say, open a new window. And then I'm going to say open. And then I'm going to go to that data streams folder here. That was on my desktop, dev, data streams, and then open. Okay, now we're ready to work. So let's go ahead and start coding this out. And I have my little timer here at 40 minutes to do this. And I think I can get it done a lot faster. Remember the prompt I gave you though, because I know I'm going super fast and I'm just trying to get you a couple projects set up here right off the bat. And then I'll teach you everything. You know, these first few videos and stuff, I know that's not a lot of teaching. It's really just coding. I want to get the project set up so you can have just a quick win. You know, I want to make sure that you have a couple of my most important data sources and streams here that I literally look at all day, because if you have everything I have, then you're going to be able to build things much better than me because I didn't have this stuff when I got started. So let's go ahead and call this recent trades. So again, we're going to try to build this out, or we are going to build this out. These are the recent trades. These are all the big orders. These could be super, like this is $426,000 order. What can you do with that information? That's the question. And what type of bots can you build? That's the question. But I'm studying this. I've been studying this and I've been able to come up with so many different strategies based off of all the data you can see on the screen here. And we're going to build all this right now. Every single step of it. And again, if it doesn't make sense, you can always just post into the code help section and we'll help you out. The code help section is here for you. It's here for me. It's here for everybody. Everything that I have access to, you get access to. And that's the whole point of this bootcamp here, is to show you everything and get you caught up to speed with me as quickly as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to build out this data stream, and it's going to be pretty cool. I'm excited to show you. So the first thing we're going to do here is, let's see here. Oops. I'm just grabbing a couple of files here so I can show you how to do this. So again, I want to show you how to kill this first. It's Control C. And then if I ever want to run it again, it's just upwards. I just click upwards and that gets me my last input. So you can see my last input here is Python users MD. You know, it's just the path. It's the path to the folder. So I'm just going to open up that folder here and then I'm going to show you all the code so you can build your own. So I'm going to say new window here and I'll get to that path here real quick. And then we'll go ahead and walk you through all of the code so you can build your own data stream out here and then do as you would like with it. I think it's super important that you have this data at least to look at, right? Because this data is where I'm headed. And again, you're going to have your own ideas here and your own ways to use everything that I give you. And that's the whole point, is because, you know, I can't just do this for you, of course, but I can give you everything that I have access to. And then from there, you can really build whatever you please to build, you choose to build. So I'm just pulling up the code here so we can go ahead and write all this out for you. And it's not going to take too long. So just on a new computer. So there's a couple things. Give me 1 second. Just pulling up my other computer here so I can show you how to build this, because this is so nice. So these are the recent trades. This is what we're trying to get to. You can see here, if I run it, it's going to show all of the trades that are happening on Binance. So let's just go ahead and start coding it out. You can see this is so important to have this data source. And I did not have this data source until 3 years in, which is crazy because you just joined and you're getting stuff that took me 3 years to figure out. So I want to keep doing that throughout this bootcamp. Every single thing that I think is important, I'm going to show with you. So let's code all of this out. Now, it might be a lot of code, and if it doesn't make sense to you, again, I'll walk through a couple examples of how I use AI in order to get things answered or like understand things. So let's go ahead and say import asyncio. Now, again, if you don't have asyncio, this is pretty easy to fix. If you ever see an underline there, if you see an underline on anything, you can just say pip install asyncio onto Google and it should give you the direct install thing, pip install, and then you just go ahead and you hit terminal here, new terminal, and then you pip install it like that. I don't need to because I already have mine in there, but we're going to build this out and you can see the orders are flying by. So let's make this a little bigger and so you can see it a little better. And let's go ahead and say, let's get on the the T-flow. Okay, so import that, import JSON, import OS, from date time, import date time, import PYTZ. If you don't have that one, do exactly what I just showed before about Googling it. Web sockets. Most of the time you can just pip install it, but I like to Google it to get the exact thing because sometimes there'll be a different name. And I think I showed you that earlier. Import connect, say from term color, which we just installed in the last video, import cprint. Okay. What else? Well, these are where you're going to put your symbols. So the list of symbols you want to track. So for me, I'm tracking these symbols, and they're just based off of volume. little bit of bias in there as well, but it's whatever you want to track. So I want to track BTC USDT, ETH USDT. I want to track Sol USDT. I want to track BNB USDT. I just think these are big tokens. Doge USDT, and then WIF USDT. Okay. So this is how you put in the tokens you want to track all the orders for, because this is what this little app we're building is doing. We're going to say WebSocket URL base equals WSS / fstream.binance.com/WS. Okay. And then the trades file name equals Binance trades.csv, which we need to open up. So I hit Command B to open that up. And then I'm going to say Binance trades.csv. Okay. There we go. It's in there now. So I made a CSV file and it's there, and we called it right there, or we set it right there. And now we're going to say check if the CSV file exists. And we're going to say if not, if it doesn't exist, then we're going to say if not path.isFile trades file name. So it's checking to see if the path exists, and we say with open if it does exist, and we're say trades file name, and then W as F. Again, don't worry if this is not making sense to you, just try to get this running, because over time I will teach you how to code, and I showed you how to do some of the coding here in that long video. Let's say event, it just sometimes takes time. And it took me a long time of building projects and really kind of only understanding code in order to really fully understand it. So I don't want you to get overwhelmed. You got this. So aggregate, trade, ID, price, quantity, first, trade, ID, trade, time. We're just setting up the columns. Is buyer, maker, and then we're going to \n. Okay, so that's what we do for that one, that line there. And then here we're actually going to use async, and async, don't use it a ton, but you know, you can learn about it if you'd like, or just build it out, because this is, I'm building an actual app that works for you, and I just want you to have this data so you can look at it. Trade, stream, URI, symbol, and file name. Okay. And then async with connect URI as WebSocket. And then we'll say while true, try the message equals await WebSocket dot receive, and then data equals JSON dot loads message, event time equals an integer of data E, aggregate trade ID equals data of A, price equals float of data P. So we're just matching our names with their names. Quantity equals float of data Q. Trade time equals int of data T. Is buyer maker equals data M. And then Eastern time zone, you might, if you want a different time zone, you can change it here. Time zone I'm using US Eastern. You can use something else if you want your time zone to be different. You can just kind of Google or ask ChatGPT how to change this to your time zone. Then readable trade time equals date time dot from timestamp trade time divided by 1000, then EST, and then we'll say STRF time, kind of like we did earlier, and we'll say percentage hours, percentage minutes, and then percentage seconds. Now, when I was getting started, this was really gross to me, but essentially it's saying show us the time and the hours, and it uses these to denote it essentially hours, minutes, seconds. Don't worry if any of this does not make sense right now. Over time, it will all make sense. USD size equals price times quantity. Display symbol equals symbol dot upper. And then we're going to dot replace USDT with nothing. And then here we're going to say if USD size is greater than 15,000 or 1499, that's where you can change this if you'd like. Trade type. If it equals sell, if is it equals sell if is buyer, else it equals buy. And then the color equals red if trade type equals sell, else it equals green. Okay, so that's just color changing the things so we can see it nicely. And then here, we're going to say stars equals a space. And then we're going to say attributes, adders equals bold, okay? If USD size is greater or equal to 5,000, actually 50,000, else, and then we're going to repeat count equals 1. And then here, we're going to say if USD size is greater than or equal to 500,000, because I want to see big orders, then I want to put stars next to them equal 1 star, 2 stars. And then repeat count equals 1. And then if trade type equals sell, trade type equals sell here, we're going to change the color because this is a big sell. So as you can see here, if I go ahead and try to pull up my terminal, you can see here it's looking at all of the orders. And if it's really big, you can see it's blue. It's green and red, red for sell, green for buy. But then if it's really big, it's going to be blue or magenta. So here, sell, we'd say the color, and this should actually be capital sell, all caps. Color equals magenta. Perfect. Else, color equals blue, because the magenta was for sell, and if it's a buy, then be blue, as long as it's a huge order. And now we're going to come back here, one back, elif USD size is greater or equal to 100,000. We're just going to have 1 star. Stars equals times 1. Repeat count equals 1. And then here, again, lined up with the elif, we're going to say output equals F stars. Oops, I spelled that wrong. Stars. Brackets again, and it's going to say trade type. And then it's going to say display name. And then it's going to be readable human time. So everything that we've done before, now we're just printing it out to make it look pretty for us. And then we're going to say USD size, comma, period, 0F. And then down here, right below it, we're going to say for underscore and range, repeat count. We're going to C print the output, white for the text, and then F on the color that we want with the attributes, the adders equaling adders, attributes. And then we want to log this to a CSV, log to CSV, because we might want to keep that data. And you can use this data however you want, maybe in some back testing later. I mean, that's what I'm looking at it for. File name, comma A. With open file name, comma A as F dot write, F brackets event name actually. No, event time. Comma symbol dot upper, comma ag type trade ID, comma price, oops, it needs to be in there, price, comma quantity. Okay, I think comma after the quantity. And actually, we're going to put a break there. So F, we're going to keep going. F, trade time. And then here is buyer maker. And then backslash N. All right, I know that was a lot, but again, don't beat yourself up if this is too fast. This is pretty advanced stuff, and I'm showing you at the start because I want you to have the data sources I have, but I don't expect you, if you're just learning how to code, I don't expect you to understand all this. I'll show you here at the end how to learn a little bit of it, but don't feel like this should hold you up in case you get stuck here. Feel free to ask any questions. Remember, we're here for you every step of the way. My goal is to get you caught up to speed with me and learn absolutely everything I know. But it's going to take time. You know, it took me time. I can help you go faster, but at the same time, it's still like, if you're learning a new language like Spanish or something, it's still going to take time, right? I can give you all the words in the dictionary, but are you going to learn the language? Probably not. But after time, over time, like, you're going to learn word by word and so on and so on. So we write that line there, and then we're going to go all the way to the start. So the front, the front line here, and we're going to say async def main, okay, and then we're going to say file name equals Binance trades .csv, okay, and then create a task for each symbol trade stream. Tasks equal this here, and then say for symbol in symbols stream URL equals F, and then we'll say WebSocket URL base, and then here we'll say symbol, and then at AGG trade. There might be some errors in this, but that'll be good if there are, because then I can show you how to fix those. Task.append. There's just there could be like typing errors for the most part, because I know all this works. It's just, you know how Moondev does with his typing symbol. And you know, I'm a human too, and I just want to encourage you that, like, even being 3.5 years deep into this, I still run into errors that are super simple, but they're hard to see. So don't ever get discouraged. Just know we're here for you in the code help section. And if you ever have questions, you just can't see the error, I'm sure somebody else will be able to see the error, and we will work with you until that error is answered. So that's why I have the code help channel for me and you, because we all are humans. So let's see if we can run this. This is the end of the file. And there you go. So boom, all of the trades are now streaming into your Python environment. Now, again, I want to show you, because this is something that I like to do. I like to run it from my terminal because it's just much nicer, and there's not all of this extra space, right? So how do I do that? Well, all I'm going to do here, I'll zoom out a little bit. All I'm going to do here is grab the recent trades, copy the path, go to my terminal, click shell, new window, and then here on terminal, remember, it says I'm on base, but I want to go to my Conda environment. So whatever your Conda environment, Conda activate your environment name. Mine's called tflow. Okay. And then I can say Python and then paste in this whole thing, the full path, copy path, not relative path. And then boom, look at that. You got your own data app. It's so nice. It's one of my favorite things that is like visually pleasing. I'm able to see all the data coming through all day long. Binance is the biggest exchange out there. So if people are putting big orders there, they're probably putting big orders elsewhere. So, this is for Binance, and Binance is currently the king. So you can see the purples coming through. You can see the greens, the reds, and so on and so on. This is amazing. So the thing that came to me next was, okay, well, this is awesome. These recent trades is awesome, but it's going pretty fast, and I really want to see some of the big trades too, because I could see then, okay, if I scroll back here, look at this. Oh, at 9:07, and right now it's 9:32. At 9:07 though, there was a huge trade here, and I can see that, and I can go back and see that at 9:07. You can see the blinking lights will show the huge ones. See where they go. You can see like there's $3.92 million trade there. So what I did was I built another file off this. So I have recent trades, and then I'm going to have a huge trades. So I just showed you how to build app number 1, which was the recent trades. But now I want to go ahead and check for every second if a bunch of trades are on here in the same second and they reach to over $500,000, post them here. And then, of course, I want to post these ones that are over $500,000. Like this was a $5 million sell. That is insane. That's insane that we have this data, because in the regular stock market, they don't really give you this data that easily. You got to pay a lot for it. This is all free. So let's go ahead and make this second screen now. So we built the first screen. Last video, we built the productivity app. You can see I have 14 minutes left to do this. So I want to build this second screen. It's going to be similar to this left screen, but this one moves way faster because it has all the orders over $15,000. You just saw me build it. And this second stream is only going to have the orders over $500,000, but it's not just the big orders over $500,000. It also aggregates all of this. So these are all on the same second. So if they're over $500,000, they'll go ahead and be added there too. I only have 14 minutes to code this. I really hope I can do this here in this time, but let's go ahead and start coding here. I'm gonna cheat a little bit and import some of these things, and that's fine to do. As an algorithmic trader, you really only need to build things once, but if you're going through this for the first time, I'd recommend that you type it out again, because at the end of the day, you got to learn this stuff. And I feel like typing it out is helpful. I just don't have much time to show you this part. So I'm importing the same stuff at the start. So everything's the same so far. But now we're going to go ahead and make a class. So this is going to be a little bit new coding. And by the way, remember this thing. If for example, I know this is super advanced stuff, and don't let it hang you up from moving on to the next section. If this is hanging you up and you can't get this app built, then that just means there's a spelling error, because I know it works. And if you have any questions, please do post in the code help section. But remember, if this isn't making sense to you, which I don't expect it to make too much sense to you if you're brand new, so don't be hard on yourself. You got this. But you can always say something like this. Here's my code. And then I can say this right here. Please explain the concepts in this code. Please explain the concepts in this code with 3 analogies and 3 coding examples. I'm learning how to code and need to understand them. So whenever in doubt about any line of code, you could just put in these 3 lines, but you can see how helpful this. I can't believe the time of age we're in. But I'm able to at least show you how to do this. And let's go ahead. We only have a few minutes left here to get this second one done. So we're going to build out this second screen here, which is the screen with the huge trade. So here I'm going to create a class, and I don't expect you to know what a class is. Don't worry. Maybe you do because you got it from the other video, but aggregator. And then we're going to say def init, passing self here. Okay. And then we're going to say self.trade buckets. And just to confirm that we're on the right one, let's go ahead and kill this one. Command C. And then if I up it, I can see tape big 2. Perfect. So that's exactly what we're coding out right now. So you're going to have exactly what I have. And that's the whole goal of everything here, is I want you to get fully up to speed where I'm at, because then you can take off. So async. Async def add trade self symbol second USD size is buyer maker. Okay, close it off. And then say trade key equals symbol second is buyer, and that's supposed to say maker. Okay. Self.trade buckets trade key equals self.trade buckets dot get trade key 0 plus USD size. Okay. Then we're going to go down here and say async def check and print trades self. Okay. Timestamp of now equals date time dot UTC. You can see I'm using UTC time. UTC now. Dot strf time. And then we'll do the percentage hours colon percentage minutes colon percentage seconds. Okay. And then we'll say deletions equals this empty list. And then for trade key USD size in self.trade buckets dot items symbol second is buyer maker equals trade key. And then if second is under timestamp dot now, and USD size is over 500,000 because we only want the ones over 500,000. We're going to say adders equals bold. So we want to bold them if they are over 500,000. Back color will be equals on blue if not is buyer. Not is buyer maker. Did I spell that wrong somewhere? Yeah, I did. I keep saying make instead of maker, but is not buyer maker. Else it's going to be on magenta. And then trade type equals buy if not is buyer maker, else it's sell. So we're just classifying. Now if USD size is bigger than 3 million, then we want to have USD size equals USD size divided by 1 million, just so we can read it better. And then we're going to say C print F quotes backslash 033 5M brackets trade type symbol second $, USD size 0.2F. And to be honest with you, this is the hardest stuff you're gonna build, like the hardest finger stuff, I would say. Like these are weird. We're using a lot of brackets, we're using all types of weird terminology, or weird symbols here, and I can promise you that this is going to be the hardest type of symbols we're going to use throughout the bootcamp. So it's actually much easier to type in most Python than what we're doing here today. But I thought, hey, why not just get you a couple products that you can have that took me a long time to build. Let me get you that right off the bat, because then you'll have everything that I have right off the bat. So else USD size equals USD size divided by 1 million again. And then we're going to say C print F trade type, okay, symbol, okay, second, okay, USD size. Let's go ahead and put the $sign in front of that. And then we're going to make it .2F. And this is M for million. And then we're going to say comma white. Back color here. And then adders, attributes equals adders. Okay, perfect. And then here we're going to say deletions dot append trade key. Okay, so now we're going to go back 1, 2 here and say for key in deletions, delete self dot trade buckets key. Okay, and then here we're going to go all the way back to the start here and say trade aggregator equals trade aggregator. We'll run that. And then async def Binance trade stream. I think this is going to be the same one as here, but again, you might want to type this out if Is it the same? It's not the same, so we're just gonna type it all out. A little bit of change, a little bit of change. It's okay. So URI, symbol, file name, aggregator, close it off, async, with connect, URI, as web socket, while true, try, message equals await web socket dot receive, and data equals JSON dot loads message. Okay, and then USD size equals float data, the price, the P, multiplied by float of data quantity, Q, and then trade time equals date time dot format, or sorry, dot from timestamp data T, and then divide that by 1000, and then PYTZ dot time zone. Again, you can use whatever time zone you want here. I'm using US Eastern. And then here, a readable time, readable trade time equals trade time dot str f time. And then we're going to say we want it in percentage hours, percentage minutes, percentage seconds, and that just formats it for us. And then we're going to say await aggregator dot add trade, and then we'll say symbol dot upper, okay, dot replace USDT, okay, with nothing, and then we go comma after that first one, readable trade time, USD size, and data M. Sweet. Now we're going to say accept, because we have a try and accept block up there. And accept, we're going to say await asyncio dot sleep 5. Okay. And then we're going to go all the way back to the start again. And we have a couple more lines of code here. So we're really crushing it. Async def print. Again, if you're new to trading or new to coding, don't worry if this does not make sense. It's just going to take time for everything to make sense. I've given you a couple prompts there that if you want to get extra work in, you can ask GPT for the extra examples. But I want to show you how to build these apps here, because these are literally what I'm looking at all day. Asyncio.sleep. And I think they're just really good, unique data sources. And as you know, like, it's all about building your own edge, right? So if I can give you something that to me looks like a unique data source that I want to build a ton of stuff off of, then, you know, you get to see what I see. Aggregator dot check and print trades. Aggregator.check and print trades. Okay. So here we're going to say async. There might be some errors here, but we'll fix them and that'll be good. Hopefully we can show those, because then you can see how I debug, and that, you know, you're never going to be perfect. You're always going to have errors. So I've just seen so many people, and myself included, come through and learn how to code. And it's just like a little overwhelming sometimes when you get stuck on something. Just know that you can learn this, just like you learned how to trade, or you learned how to walk, or you learned how to dance. Everything that you learn just takes a little bit of time. And we have AI now, which is so nice because it helps us practice the things that we don't fully comprehend. Binance Trade Stream, F, WebSocket. Sorry, that's not right. I need to put in the bracket. And WebSocket, base URL. Then we're going to say symbol here. Symbol. And I don't have a symbol here. So I think that, oh, sorry, we'll see it in a second. So here, trade async def main, trade stream. This should say WebSocket URL symbol and then at AGG trade, and then comma outside of the parentheses, symbol, file name, trade aggregator for symbol in symbols. So if this was confusing to you, again, don't worry, because this is going to be, this is really like level 50 stuff. I'm showing you like day 1 or whatever, day 2. So I just want to get you to a point where you have these tools that I look at all day. And if it doesn't totally make sense to you, that's totally fine, because this is, again, level 50 stuff, and we'll get you to a point by the end of this boot camp. The whole goal is that you're able to automate any trading strategy for the rest of your life. So trade aggregator, and try to do this boot camp for 100 days, go 100 days at this process. And if you can commit to that, then you're going to be great. So await asyncio dot gather trade stream tasks and print task. And then down here, we're going to say asyncio dot run main. Sweet. Let's run it, see what errors we get. We get no errors. That's great. So look, you see, look, $10.5 million somebody just threw at Bitcoin. 8.41. They just bought Doge at 6.18. So this is amazing. Now let me show you one more time how to get this set up on a terminal if you want it on a terminal, because I like it. I like it on the terminal because then I can run it without having Visual Studio Code up here. I think we missed a 0 somewhere though, because those numbers looked a little big for me. So let's see here. It's 1 million. Here I missed the 0. That's 100,000. Okay, so just double check that your zeros are correct. Remember, this is how you run it from a terminal if you want that. Huge trades, copy full path. Let's go to my terminal here, and you can see I just hit terminal shell, new window. And remember, we're on the base layer. We're not on a Conda environment right now. Every time you open the terminal, you got to make sure you're on a Conda environment. Conda activate T-flow. Okay. And then I can say Python. Remember, you got to say Python and then paste in what we just copied. We copied this path, copy path, and then you just paste that in after you say Python and after you activate your Conda, and then I can run it. And now we can see our finished product. So we built 2 amazing things today. Congrats to you. I'm so proud of you. You see the sell soul here, and it should come here as well. So you can see the orders are flying in here, and then it's aggregating the big orders here. If they're on the same second, it will aggregate it, or of course, if it's one big order. So at this point of the bootcamp, you should have 3 full apps that are built, and that's amazing. I'm so proud of you. You'll keep going, you'll keep learning as long as you make sure to prioritize this and come back every single day. I'll show you absolutely everything. Every single day, I'm going to keep showing you more and more. In the next project, we're going to build out liquidations and the funding rate. So 2 more projects we have here, but these, just like these big orders, I think there's so many different ideas that can be built off of these big orders. I think the market also moves in between liquidations. So you can see some huge liquidations coming through here. 10 minutes ago, 210,000, 500,000, 300,000, 180,000. So the same way we have these orders coming through, we have the liquidations coming through. And this project I'm about to show you literally is going to save you $400 per month. Well, I don't know if that's actually $400, but if we go ahead and say CoinGlass glass liquidations, this is where I got the idea from, and I was going to purchase this API in order to get the real-time liquidations here. This shows people getting liquidated, and I'll show this all in the next video. But yeah, this, if you look at their pricing here for what I'm about to show you for free, like you're going to have all access to this. If I go to the API, you can see it costs $300 a month to stream in the liquidations. But I'm going to show you how to do that for free. Again, every single thing I figure out throughout this algo trading process, my commitment is to give to you, and everything I learn, I give to you, and I will keep doing that. This next video, these new apps we're going to build here, it would have cost you $300 per month. So I'm just trying to serve you as much as possible. I hope you've enjoyed it so far. We've built some really cool apps that I look at all day. These data sources and how are one way I come up with a ton of trading strategies and ideas. So let's go ahead and jump into that next video where I'll show you how to build out these two, which are liquidation trackers. And some people say, and I tend to agree, the market moves, the spot market moves between liquidations on the perpetual market. So I know we're going fast, but I want to get these data sources up for you. So I'm proud of you. Let's keep going, and I'll see you in the next video.